Obviously start off, was a great weekend all around. I mean that from the weather, but most importantly the atmosphere. It was really a special night, and it starts with our student body. So I think the big shout out goes to that student body for their participation, their ability to come out, support us. We started fast, and there's a reason for us to start fast. I think it starts with the atmosphere and our student body. They show the importance of it. In return, our guys, they're 18 to 22-year-olds. They feel that, they see that, that matters. So our ability to come out and start fast shows that, hey, we created a great atmosphere, they created a great atmosphere, and we also respect the game. We respect our opponent, we respected the game, and that's what we should have done. We should have come out, we should have played like that. We had an opportunity to make it a really one-sided game. But I've also been in situations like that where it doesn't happen to be a one-sided game, and it becomes a little bit of a dogfight because guys don't take and respect game day like they should. Maybe don't respect their opponent like they should. So I see some maturity starting to happen just in our way of how we prepare and how we attack the situations that we have. So it's also another great opportunity. It doesn't happen all the time. We played 92 players, so it was a great opportunity for our program just to continue to develop. 35 guys, I think, played for the first time. And some people would say, wow, that's great. No, that's a great opportunity for our program. Those are a lot of guys right there that are the future of the program, that have an opportunity with this new role, even with the redshirt rule, to get out there and have a chance to play in front of a crowd, to actually play on a Saturday night when it really matters. That's a lot of growth for them. They get to see a light at the end of the tunnel. I think it kind of sparks an interest a little bit more sometimes when they're caught down the depth chart. It also gives a lot of great opportunities to some guys that might not have an opportunity to see the field a whole lot, but they're a big part of our program. We don't get where we are just even now without having great scout teams, great look teams, guys that might be their role. It might be their role, for a while. So for that opportunity, by our guys taking care of business, our guys respecting the day, gave a lot of those guys an opportunity to do that. I think offense, defense, and special teams, it really was a pretty, I would say flawless, but a pretty well executed night. And all that happens because the momentum was created initially, not just by the offense, but by the entire atmosphere and everything. So in all, it ended up giving us a great opportunity to grow our program, guys that get some opportunities to play out there. But I think it kind of sparks a little something different. Some people would think that a blowout like that, it's no fun. It's not. No, there's a lot of different things that go along with that that carry over into this week, next week, and the following weeks. Just to some of those guys that, like I said, are going to be the future, or sometimes are just the scout guys that have a little bit different outlook on things and are excited about what they do.
A lot of times that game is week 1 against an FCS opponent. Is it maybe beneficial to have it week 3 after you've taken some bumps the first 2 weeks?
I don't know. You put them however it lies. If you win them, that's a great opportunity in a spot. If you go into it 2-0 and you can bring yourself out 3-0, you might say, oh, that's a perfect timing for that thing. But the reality is, it doesn't matter. It shows some of the maturity of the things that you got to be able to do. And I mean that in a sense where things, we won 2 games, and going into that game where for the first time you're favored, and you are better, and you have better talent. But again, talent doesn't just win games. So I think that whether it was the way we played or not, it was a step for us to be able to take some maturity and be able to handle some different situations that since I've been here we haven't had to handle.
What about the opportunity to be 4-0 going into the league? I mean, that would be pretty much what you would have dreamed of, I guess.
Yeah, it starts over. So the first 3 don't really matter. Yes, they do, obviously, but the momentum that you've created, the feel that you've created, not just in our program, but even in the community and in our student body, those things go a long way. So we'll talk about that today, just about, hey, obviously it starts with respecting your opponent and making sure you understand and know what's going to walk in there and prepare for a battle, and then, hey, what this generation, this momentum and things can generate as we begin league play the following week.
Coach, you mentioned preparing for an opponent. Just your thoughts on this being an in-state game against another Ohio team?
Yeah, I've played against them a few times in the past, and every single one of them was a battle. And I mean that in the sense that you can see their culture of their program. And I'm not just saying they're going to play up because they're playing in-state, they're playing against us, and so that matters a lot to them. But you can see the culture of their program. They're a direct reflection of their head coach. It's going to be a tough, hard-fought football, completely different than last week. And I'm not saying last week they weren't tough and hard-fought. They were more athletic. They had some athletes. They weren't quite the same in their, I'd say, in their structure of things that we'll see when they walk in here on Saturday.
Obviously, Dez didn't throw the ball a ton the first 2 games. Did you get a little bit better look at him through? I mean, it was only 10 throws.
Did you just read those stats or something?
I did.
They didn't throw the ball a bunch in the first few games, and that's what it led to. We've said that before, whether it was UCLA and the situation that the game started going in, or the weather game. We want to have balance. We want to be able to throw the football. We want to be able to run the football. We want to be able to create balance in everything that we do. Saturday night was an opportunity because they gave us a chance. They gave us a chance to be able to throw the football to the weather as well as what they did. So it was great for him. I think I said it after the game. A lot of people starting to gain confidence in him. He's got unbelievable confidence in himself, but the confidence of those guys around him, and the confidence for guys to make plays. I mean that in Thomas Geddes' first touchdown. I don't know that in any of those first 2 games we've made a big contested catch, a throw and catch. So all in all, for those guys to gain confidence in one another, I think it was a great growth for us.
What have you seen so far of OU on offense, and what's your guys' focus going to be defensively this week?
Stop them. They're physical. I mean, they definitely, they're going to, obviously, Pappy, they've got an electric wide receiver that's been playing for 3 years, and he's in his 4th year. It still starts with the quarterback, their ability to be physical up front, run the football, establish a run. They will run the option. That's go all the way back to Coach Solich and his history and the things that they do. And, so you see a reflection of that. But if you really look at them, they're a balanced team. There's not a flaw to them. You can look at it from across the board, so offense, defense, special teams. They're a great reflection of their head coach and what they do. So every team comes in and poses some issues. I think theirs is they're gonna try to match our physicality, our attention to detail, the discipline, things that we pride ourselves in, the same things they pride themselves in. Big plays through their wideouts, and then their quarterback being able to run some option.
Obviously, you're really involved with the defense, but I'm curious how you feel about the work that Coach Freeman and the assistants have done from last season to this season and some of the changes that have happened.
Terrible. They've done a great job, and I mean that throughout, not just because of these 3 games that we played. I mean the attention to detail through the offseason, the ability to work with Coach Collins and the strength coaches and what they did in the offseason in order to get better at football as well. Football isn't just done during spring ball. It isn't just done during fall camp and during the season. To be great at this game and to get better each and every year, there's a lot of things you got to do in the offseason. I think our ability to have a strength coach like Coach Collins and those guys in there to not just say, hey, we're going to lift these guys, but we're going to work on football stuff. I think through the entire offseason gave us an opportunity to tackle better, to track the ball better. I think that's what's showing up a lot more on film. Not to say that we aren't disruptive and creating some bigger plays, but eliminating the big plays, I think, is where I would say I'm happiest with not just what they've done throughout fall camp and stuff, but what the coaches have set up structurally to give these guys, our guys, an opportunity to get better throughout the entire offseason.
Anything new with Dose?
No. Today will be a day where we'll test him a little bit more and see where he's at.
And you got to feel comfortable with the running game. You got 2 guys that just
I mean, 3, 4 guys. Maybe we had 3 guys that ran the ball really well. You get a little worried about the ball goes on the ground. You could say, well, you've only had 1 fumble and X amount of carries. It's 1 fumble too many. And that's the only thing with a young guy. It's just making sure that they understand the importance of when you touch the football. The number 1 thing when you touch the football is you take care of the football. So we got a lot more confidence in those guys. In a sense, to just put them in, not just to put them in a situation when Mike's tired, but to put them in a situation to make some plays for us too.
You talk about being an offensive line driven program. You got 3 freshman offensive linemen, true freshmen that you got to look at. Can you just talk about their development, Cooper, Woodside, and O'Quinn?
It was a great opportunity. That new role kind of is in place a little bit maybe for some of those guys right there. That maybe they're on the travel squad, maybe they're going each and every week. Are you going to put them in? You don't know. if it comes to a situation where they're going to be able to play extended amount of time, you would use them. But as you notice, they're not on our field goal team, only because, hey, if we don't have to play them all year because those guys stay healthy, and we're going to have an opportunity to have these guys for another year longer. So that new role is a great opportunity for those guys to get in there and to kind of see what the development has done. And we clipped off a couple shots on Sunday for the team, just at those young guys and their ability to move the line of scrimmage and do what it is that those guys in front of them are setting the example to.
You talked last week about evaluating after week 3, and I think you had another one set for after week 6. What did you take away from that evaluation? Did you see what you wanted?
I did. I mean, again, it's great at this point because you can start to harp on the little things that are going to take you over the edge, but you're starting to see the maturity show. And I mean that, and not so much that we didn't make mistakes on, we took bad eyes on defense on a few snaps and gave up a touchdown just because of discipline and little things like that. But I mean the maturity and how you handle your business every single day. I mean, they could press play this past week and notice that I'm not sure how good this team is. But they're listening to what you're saying, and they're trying to focus on their performance and what they need to do to get better. And I think that's where one of those things where you say, hey, what are you happy about? Well, yeah, I'm happy about the way we're playing, but I'm happy about the way we're preparing, in a way that they're starting to realize that what they see on Tuesday and Wednesday is what's going to show up on Saturday. So I think that after week 3, you're saying, man, we're gaining that maturity to understand what it's going to take that thing to the next level.
You talked about when you were hired the importance of getting the guys that were here to buy in. 16 of your 22 starters are guys that were here when you got here. Can you just talk about their commitment level and how impressive it is that you've gotten them on that same page?
I think there was a nice little thing that went out on Twitter today. I think someone showed me an offensive lineman speaking from Nebraska about buying in and believing in the culture and those kinds of things. And yes, I mean, it's a big deal. We know we're only going to be as good as our seniors. And for their ability to believe in what it is, obviously they see better than they hear, and when things start to happen positively, but those are the relationships and things you got to build. They don't just happen like that. I mean, every kid is different. And I think that if I look back from last year, what did I take most out of it? I didn't do a good enough job of building some of the bonds and relationships. So when it was tougher, when it was more difficult, that maybe those older guys believed in us, believed in me, believed in the guys around them, meaning coaches and other players, so that they could handle the adversity. I'm not saying it would have changed the outcome of any games. It might have, but the reality is I think you would have felt like we were progressing in a better way than as I look back at it from last year. So that's a tribute to them. That's a tribute to the coaches. You say, are you excited about your defensive coaches and what they've done? I'm more excited about the relationships and the ability for them to grow the culture, the things that they're over and over and over again, every bit as much as the play that they've shown on the field.
Kind of off the same page as that, you guys are now just a win away from matching that win total from last year. How much does that help the confidence in the locker room? You see that energy grow more and more.
I think it's when they press play. I tried to use the phrase, the world will lie to you too. And some of them still don't quite understand exactly what I mean, and I have to explain it probably daily on it. I think it's their ability to actually see when they come in on Sundays and to watch the film and to recognize those things, not just that it's a win. Obviously, you got a better feeling about yourself, you're creating momentum, but I think that they're intelligent people, and when they can see the things on film in the way that things, whether it's tracking the football defensively, whether it's being tough and physical up front, and the wearing and tearing that it does on a defense, I think they're starting to see those things that help them believe in a lot of things we're doing even more.
Coach, when you mentioned maturity, how much of an emphasis was put on not taking your feet off the gas pedal even though it was 20-0 at the end of the first quarter?
I mean, it's difficult for those guys, but that was one of those things that everybody tried to talk and ask you before. Hey, what's your plan when you guys get up? Whoa, we have a plan every week, and the plan is to continue to play. It wasn't until Thursday that we got the coaches together because I can't do that myself. I just said, okay, I want you guys to have a plan, for what guys you would use if we get in a situation. This isn't just this week, but in general. Who are the redshirt guys? What guys you would use? What is the situations you use them in? So hopefully we get ourselves in that position. But all week we had just preached, we can't worry about those other things. I think that's where starting fast and getting that feeling from the get-go. But it's natural. Did I say they all didn't let up? No. There's some things on Sunday that we were really hard on them about. Because you can now. If it wasn't like that, if you squeaked the game out like Austin P last year, you couldn't be quite as hard. You know, you point them out, but you know, how do you really grow and learn from those things unless you know, believe in them, you know, the coaches and things that are happening.
We good? Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.